Hello and welcome to Safe Schools. I'm Curtis Graves.
And I'm Andy Howard.
Andy, how are you?
I'm great, Curtis. How are you today, man?
Pretty good, man. Another fine day, and we have a great opportunity to talk about some really good information that needs to be shared.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think we're going to have a great show today. We're going to have a great guest, Mr. David Ackers from the Mobile County Public School System. I think he's going to have some very important stuff to say. I hope our audience benefits from it. I know they will.
Well, David always has some good information to share.
Yeah, he's a guy who can talk about some good stuff. We'll be right back.
The Mobile County Public Schools Signature Academies program offers a variety of specialized curriculum for highly interested and motivated students. These academies provide students with choices ranging from aviation to healthcare, advanced information technology to international studies, from engineering to coastal studies. These high-quality hands-on programs prepare students for careers readily available in Mobile County. Signature Academies program. It starts with us.
I received a great education with the Mobile County Public School System. It helped allow me to embrace any obstacles that may come my way, whether it be educational-wise or, just life. Being in the Mobile County Public School System prepared me for whatever may come, and I'm just fortunate enough for that.
And we're back, and we're excited to introduce our audience to our, as we said in our tease, a great guest, a great asset to the school district, Mr. David Ackers. How are you doing?
I'm good.
Hello,
I'm good.
David. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm so excited to be here. I'm a big fan of your show, so I get to watch all of the episodes. I'm a big fan.
Well, all this happens because of you too. So.
I have a lot to do each week with making sure you guys are programmed in the show, but I became a big fan of it as watching, and I've been sharing a lot with people that I know that say, hey, you need to watch this, you got kids in school, you need to be sharing this. So.
Well, we appreciate it. We're really grateful for your support, and we know that you're a hugely important person in the school district, not just because of your part in producing our show. And that's what we want to talk about a little bit today. But before we get into what you do for the school system, I like our audience to know a little bit about our guests. And, we're fortunate to have people who come from our own community who are talented and capable and are able to come back and contribute to the community. Would you tell our audience a little bit about,
About David. About David.
Yeah,
Just talk about David for a second.
Well, I grew up here. I'm a native of Biola Battery, much like our superintendent. She's a native of Biola Battery also.
I know that.
And
yes.
Grew up there. My family has roots there, and has had them there for years. And I went to Alba High School. Actually went pretty much K-12 all the way through, and graduated from there in 1985.
Okay.
So been out 31 years now. Went to South Alabama after graduation, and got a degree in computer and information sciences there. Really didn't have knowledge about what I wanted to do, but I'm a third generation school system employee. My grandfather worked here. My father worked here 41 years. My mother worked here. My brother retired from here about 4 years ago. So it's kind of a family deal for us. What I really wasn't looking around for, and a position came open. Coincidentally enough, our CFO, Ms. Dinah Simpson, was the one who hired me in '92 as a CMP analyst. I had some background. My minor was in business management and accounting, and they needed a CMP analyst, but they also wanted somebody they were transitioning to computer sides, putting point of sale terminals in, so they kind of wanted to do both. So I was a perfect fit for that.
So you've been a big part of the evolution of the school system as it relates to technology.
Well, in '92 we were still really a fleggling district. We were using a lot of Apple IIe equipment and things like that, but there was not a lot of district initiatives back then. There was no district network. There was, none of that we weren't even really using modems that much back then. And so you're right. I didn't really think about that from that standpoint, but was here from the ground level of the system. So started out there. Worked for Ms. Simpson about 3 years in the department. We made some tremendous strides in the CMP area, and then moved on into the district's very small technology department. There was only about, I think there was 5 of us at that time.
What's your current title?
I am the executive manager of information technology. I work straight under the superintendent.
How big is your group now?
We have 39 of us now,
Okay.
and really, quite honestly, you never have enough people. That doesn't include contractors that we use. We have 2 contractors that work with us on networking, and then a contractor that works with us on computer hardware. So, you know, we could have upwards of 50 people working from within the district to maintain what we have.
Let's talk about technology for a second, David.
I can always talk about technology. Always.
Technology is the horse that got out of the barn and we can't get it back in now, right? And we don't necessarily want to get it back in, but we want to learn how to actually handle it, right?
And you know, one of the things that most people will hear me say, I've been on several shows, they'll hear me say cyber, you know, security, but they'll say we want to build good digital citizens. And that's the thing.
I like that.
The digital citizenship, you know, we talk about being good citizens in our neighborhoods and doing the things that are morally right and doing the things that are right within the law. Well, the digital world is the same. We've got to teach kids there are things that you do, things that you don't do. There are people you don't want to talk to. And we've been trying to do that as a district. One of the things that's always a moving target. You know, you go by a year, you have the next group of kids come in, so it's constantly moving. One of the benefits is the next group of kids coming up, they're very educated and they're very knowledgeable in technology. And then another benefit is too, with every passing year, the parents are another generation or another age where they're very versatile and very knowledgeable of technology.
Our concern right now as it relates to good citizens in the computer technology world, how does the maturity equate to the technology that they have access to, people have access to?
Well, when you talk about maturity, I'm sure you're talking about the students, right? At early level, early ages, and one of the things that's always impressed me, well, especially in the last 3 or 4 years, is to see children who can't talk, children who are learning to speak using technology. And so there is a concern about what they see and what they can have access to. Even though they're not maliciously trying to do those things, you definitely don't want to have those type of images and things come up with very, very small children. I'm talking toddler age up. So I think parents have to know when that maturity level moves as the kids move up, because we've got kindergarten kids bringing iPads to school, and it's important to have things locked down that they can specifically do the things that you want them
And
to
the
do.
school system has been good stewards toward technology as it relates to technology, in the sense that we put in safeguards to make sure that students are not they can't gain access to things that we don't want them gaining access to, right?
That's correct. We had a
Put
system.
some barriers in, right?
Well, and
To the bad stuff.
Most people would know that.
Access into the good stuff, barriers into the bad
That's
stuff.
right.
Okay.
And you know, you guys know a lot about the internet. You've had shows where you've talked about that. I mean, we're here at the cyber unit downtown, and so we know that for all the good there is on the internet, there's as much or more of things that we want to keep solid. So we put that firewall in place, and that firewall is from our downtown host. As we move traffic to and from the school district, the system can filter, and we use a program called Palo Alto right now. It's a new product that we just introduced about 2 years ago, and it's kind of self-learning. It monitors the internet, it monitors meta tags, it monitors content and things that are flowing.
I want to take a break.
Okay.
I want to use that as a tease, and we want you to talk about that a little further. We're going to take a break for a minute. We'll be right back.
I went to Baker, and I had so many amazing teachers there that really made me care about science and history, which were my favorites. They made it so important. They lit that fire that said, you know, this is important for your future, but only you can, you know, help yourself. And that really prepared me for college. You have to kind of figure it out for yourself. There's no one there telling you how to do it, and they made me an independent person.
the class of 2015 earned over $97 million in scholarships, and the class of 2016 is already on its way.
Jackson State University.
Alabama. Troy University.
Because 1 out of every 3 MCPSS students goes on to college with at least one scholarship in hand.
Go Blazers.
Southern Miss to the top.
Go Bulldogs.
Go Badgers. Go Jags.
Graduating students who are college and career ready.
And we're back. I want to remind the audience that we are not on site at the school system. We are actually at police headquarters in the cyber intel section of the police department, where everything happens. Literally everything happens
That's
here.
exciting in itself,
Yeah.
just being
Yeah.
in this area for,
Yeah.
for a technology guy.
Yeah, and we're talking about internet security, safeguards, how do we protect our children. This show is all about safe schools, but we know that the school system can't do it by itself. But we have great partners, I being one with the police department now, along with the school system and other agencies as well, all working together to keep our children safe. But David, let's continue to talk about some of the safeguards that you have.
So we mentioned the internet filtering, and I think that firewall blocks those things coming in that would be detrimental to what kids need to be looking at and viewing. Obviously, some of the more obvious things, pornography, things like that, we block from the source, and we have to provide that type of. We receive federal funding and grants for our internet access and our infrastructure. And we have to prove each year that we're making a wholehearted effort to block those things from kids. But we as a district made decisions several years ago to go a little further. There are a lot of districts who allow students to get to YouTube and to Facebook and Twitter and all those things, and we've blocked most of the social networking in choosing to do that, thinking that until our staff got to the point where we were using those things as educational tools, and there are alternatives to Facebook and others that teachers can use inside the district that's much safer. And so we've decided to block that, and we've blocked blogs, any websites or anything that has any types of blogs where they can communicate or talk live with people back and forth.
So this technology is capable of recognizing stuff that's concerning to whether it's appropriate for a young person, appropriate to our population to be exposed to.
And it can recognize obviously wordings. Websites are built with certain tags, but we all know how well Google has, surfed and searched websites where you can pinpoint words. It knows phrases. It knows the things that it can determine or interpret the intention of the website as to whether it's something the school system needs to let in or out. And as I say, we go more on the side of caution. It's easier to block most of the stuff that's bad and allow it to be released as it's needed, as opposed to letting everything open until someone finds it. So we block down a good bit of stuff, and then there's applications that are very quick for teachers to say, hey, this site that has a blog on it, we're using it for this purpose, and we can open that up.
And from our perspective and what we do, we've always, in our department, focused on making people physically safe.
Right.
Okay. But then there's also the safety that comes with making them digitally safe. And we want our population to be physically responsible. We want our students to be digitally responsible. So we try to inform and educate them about.
Well, we all know that predators are there as much in our real world, but they're ever more present online. I mean, we're here in the cyber security area, and I know that's probably one of the things that they monitor, and we've heard horror stories from that. And definitely, as the executive or head of technology in the district, I definitely do not want any student to be corresponding or having any type of correspondence live, talking through our equipment, through our system, through our network, that would be pinpointed back to having someone hurt or someone assaulted or anything like that. So we put as many safeguards as we can in place. We can monitor search. If someone puts in a search parameter, anything that throws up an alarm comes straight to our network manager. She pinpoints those throughout the day. We get a lot of those, and a lot of times they're sent to our resource officers or to HR. We've monitored situations where people have typed in searches about suicide and other things, and can pinpoint exactly where those are.
And it's allowed us to intervene in making impact with someone who's potentially at risk.
Exactly.
Or making risky decisions.
Exactly.
And that's a huge plus to us. You know, I personally have, and I know when Curtis was doing this, you know, we get a call from your guys and they tell us that something's happened at one of our sites, and we can go directly to the location it happened, to the person that it was involved in, and engage them to deal with what's going on with them, to make them wiser and or safer.
You know, my team certainly, they amaze me. I think I had a comment with our budget director yesterday. I've been so out of things over the years doing the budget and taking care of personnel issues. I've gotten out of a lot of the technology that these guys are into every day. So I'm not near as good as those guys are, and technology's changed so much in the 10 years I've been in this position. But I don't know if y'all remember, but I think it was 2 years ago or so, we had a student who probably jokingly made a threat to a Navy officer, a Navy recruiter online. And within 10 minutes, the people in my staff was able to pinpoint what school and what machine, and they were able to go pick up that student.
What desk that person
It was truly, I think the student that was there was shocked. I think it was shocking, but I was also shocked as the technology director how much my people are in tune with where
huge.
they can get, and that's a big deal.
I personally know what you mean. I mean, I've actually gone into a location and tapped somebody on the shoulder and said, "Can you come with me for a minute?"
It's truly amazing. I mean, I know today and age everybody's scared it's the Big Brother thing, but we have to have that level of security. You're entrusting me with your student. 58,000 kids are here. You're entrusting me to keep them safe. You guys have to keep them physically safe, and I have to work with you guys to keep them digitally safe.
And our goal
is important collaboration.
It is.
And our goal is to make sure that this information doesn't stay with the school system, that this information sharing actually go to the parents, and they exercise the same practice at home as we do here in the school system and with the police department.
Part of our SEPA, SEPA is an organization or a group that works in conjunction with our federal funding that we get, and we do receive. We're a great district that's utilized our funding to the max to put together in place what we have. And part of that guidelines, the SEPA guidelines that we have to adhere to, we have to work to educate kids. Kids need to understand. You post a provocative picture, a student post a picture that you're just doing as a joke. Once it's posted, you know, very, very difficult to remove all traces of it from the internet.
We really want you to expound on that. We're going to take a brief break, but that's something we want to come back and talk about a lot. We'll be right back.
The more parents are involved in school, the more likely it is a child will succeed. Children with involved parents and attend school regularly make better grades and have better social skills. Every involved parent makes a difference.
Get involved. Ask about your child's day. Explain how your education matters. Parent involvement, it matters.
You can find more information on parent involvement at mcpss.com.
Murphy High School played a big part of me getting to the next level, getting to college. I took honors classes here just to, you know, to have that extra boost. From the University of South Carolina, it helped me tremendously. I played football there for 3 years and decided to go pro after my junior year. I think just the stuff that helped me at the Murphy High School helped me carry on to the University of South Carolina. Now I'm playing my 7th season in the NFL.
As Alabama's first and largest school system, Mobile County Public Schools prides itself on the high quality of education we provide our students.
We have been successful over the years in raising our graduation rates
and have been recognized nationally for closing achievement gaps.
We believe that our primary focus is to educate all students to become productive citizens.
This is our commitment to them and to you.
All in together now, we can make it better now. Come on.
Moving a little and eating better every day can help make you and your child healthier. Search We Can to find out more.
And David, you were talking about a really important topic, and I want you to kind of get back into some of that. Making these kids safe is a huge challenge.
Well, we've trained teachers and the administrators and the principals know too, and they have these courses built at certain levels. Obviously, middle high school would be different to help kids understand. You know, if I post a picture or if I type something on the internet, I can't just say one day I want to take it off and erase it. You may take it down from where it is today, but somebody else may have expounded, sent it in multiple directions, and it can never be taken down. And I was, you know, off camera, I was saying, you know, we could have made a mistake as young people. It could have been tore up and forgotten. Today, you make a mistake as a young person, it can follow you forever. Employers are looking at Facebook sites and social networking, and they're trying to find out what type of person you are. And even if you take your Facebook site down or other things, there are traces of what you have. And you know, we forget sometimes these kids are not, the students are not really mature enough to understand those things, and it's us as parents and those around us, around those students, need to educate them.
It's a more challenging world to live in now.
Oh, yes, definitely.
You know, yeah, you're right. We could have made dumb decisions, but our dumb decisions aren't documented forever.
That's right.
But
for the whole world to see.
How important is it for parents to understand the need for safeguarding their computers at home?
It's crucial. You need to keep, you know, your antivirus updated. We talked a little while ago how the world's changing from, it used to be changing disk and moving things and sharing files. Now we share everything digitally through the cloud, but now everything's coming through malware where you visit certain sites. And then when you're getting emails, you're getting bombarded with emails. The phishing sites that try to get you to click on and put your credit card information in, the sites that try to get you to click on a certain link and open up a picture. It's just important that you keep whether you're using a Windows-based software or an Apple-based software, that you keep.
So David, for a parent who is not as educated on computers or the internet as a younger person or student, how important is it for them to know about emails, for example? Do I open this email that I'm not familiar with, or do I delete it? What do I do with it?
And most of the time, opening the email is fine. You can open the malware will be in a link. If it's something that just does not look right, it just does not look like, and you can tell if you stop and you're not in a motion of answering things or clicking things very quick, you can tell the difference between the two. Opening, clicking to open the email and read it is okay. It's the malware has to come from an internal click inside the email, from what we've found.
And we know from a law enforcement perspective, we really want people to understand that, because that malware basically can allow someone to gain access to your home.
In your personal information, you may be on a machine where you're doing your taxes and you're doing insurance, all of your things for your health and all the HIPAA things that are on, all personal information. These malware devices can click and get in your machine and just feed information back of your personal information. We had an incident inside the district where a person thought they were supposed to call, and they actually picked up the phone and called the number that was there, just in a routine because it looked so natural, and actually talked to a person on the other end and took control of the machine. So when I say it's important to understand the procedures that you have in place, and that it's very rare for anyone to initiate a call for you to come in and work on your machine. You really have to initiate that call and take the updates that are certified updates. If you're using Windows, do those particular updates. don't answer anything that these people that come up and say, you know, your machine's running slow, I can fix it for you.
Yeah, that was going to be my next
You
question.
want to stay away from
how
those
do you,
things.
how do you
Talk about those
determine that?
Yeah, anybody who says that they're watching your computer at home and they can fix it for you, I would just steer clear of that.
Okay.
That's
So when those things pop up on your computer about updating, is it okay to click on those things?
if they are, Windows updates will come internally. They'll never do them through a website. They'll come up internally as they're sent to you, and they'll flash at the bottom and say, here's updates. And you know, most of the time I do the critical updates for sure. If there's an update that says it's for helping you with, you know, doing video or something, I try, you know, but the critical updates, most of those updates are going to be within the firewall system of the computer and the security ports of the system, and blocking things that they found that can lead to other people coming in. They'll plug those holes and things in.
And
So
this is so important because we know every day in this country somewhere, even right now, a child is being targeted
yes, absolutely.
online.
And that doesn't happen all over the world. It happens right here.
Right.
And we know right here in our state and in our town those things have happened too.
So a message in terms of making a young person safe and secure.
Know what your student is doing online. My kids are grown now, but when they were here, I was Facebook friends with them. I was Twitter friends with them. As long as I was buying cell phones for them, I went through them and looked, you know, at what they were doing and who they were friends with. It just takes a parent being interested in knowing what they're doing. You have to know. You have to know what they're doing. Because even if you can trust them, you can't trust other people.
And that's the other thing. Okay, to the parent, we're supposed to be savvy enough to understand that, and to the young person, we need to educate them to become more savvy and more aware that if it don't look right, it's probably
not right. That's
Yeah.
correct. That's correct. I agree with that.
And so we as a school district and the police department, we're trying to be ever vigilant and trying to make our citizens, parents, and students safer, but they have to be vigilant.
Well, and I want our 40,000 plus households in Mobile to know that as your kids are coming here to school, we're working every day. Every day. I had students that came up through this system, and I wanted them safe, and I'm going to keep your kids safe too.
Right.
Well, that's a great plus for the school system, a great plus for the community and the citizens to know how vigilant your department is.
And it's an ever-changing target. You know,
Right.
one of the things that's very frustrating is that just when you get a handle on something else, then those people move to another device, and then we've got to change our way of doing
Well,
it. So.
this is a huge subject that we're actually doing in parts.
Yes.
So we're going to have you back again to
Good.
talk about this some more.
That's great.
But again, David, thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come out here to share this information with us and with the public, because safe schools is not just the school's business, it's everyone's business.